Coming up next here, explosions and a fire at a bus garage in New Jersey just over an hour ago. And here in New York, a bus goes out of control and smashes into a bar.
Also tonight, dramatic pictures of a big truck trying to outrun the cops. And the story of a dog that's paying the price for doing something he shouldn't have done. Eyewitness News is next.
I know, buying a new car is not the most important thought on your mind right now, but maybe it should be. Here's why. Your Buick dealer knows that Santa Claus was tough competition, so put yourself in his shoes. If you walk into his showroom and express just casual interest, don't you think he'll go even further out of his way to make you a good deal? Look, we've been saying, when your Buick dealer gives you a price, believe it. Well, when your Buick dealer says he's ready to deal, you can believe that, too.
AT&T is in boots. How? Our people can show a Texas bootmaker how to expand his business outside of Texas.
I wish I'd gotten those boots.
I knew you wanted them.
By using an AT&T 800 service number,
I should have gotten them.
his customers can call toll-free from anywhere in the country.
He said it's the toll-free call.
I want those boots.
I'll send them right out. Oh, and thanks
The people
for
of
calling.
AT&T Communications, we're thinking about your business in ways you never thought of.
At American Airlines, we hold the light of freedom sacred. That's why we're raising money to restore the greatest symbol of that light, the Statue of Liberty. And you can help too. Every time you fly American, we'll make a donation on your behalf. It's all part of a $5 million commitment to make her 100th birthday something special. American Airlines, helping to keep the American spirit alive.
How good are court-appointed lawyers? 6 tomorrow. This is Eyewitness News, Thursday night, with Ernie Anastos, Tracy Egan sitting in for Guy Tong, Corey McPherrin, and Storm Field reporting live from the Eyewitness News Weather Center. Here now is Ernie Anastos.
Good evening, everyone. Here's what's happening right now in Union City, New Jersey. Firefighters are on the scene of a big fire at a bus garage. The job of fighting the flames was complicated by several explosions inside the Transport of New Jersey garage, which takes up 2 city blocks. Now, there are no reports of injuries, but we are told 6 to 8 buses were destroyed. They are commuter buses, but officials say that they don't think that tomorrow's rush hour service will be affected. The fire, we're told, is now under control, and at this point, the cause of that fire is still under investigation. Police also tell us there have been several fires at that garage over the past 2 years. Tracy.
Ernie, here in the city tonight, a bus went out of control during the height of the rush hour. The bus jumped the sidewalk and crashed into a bar. Luckily, everyone walking by was able to scatter, but 2 people who were inside the Irish pub got minor injuries when the bus plowed into the front windows.
Get out of this corner, that bus ain't stopping. And we just beat it towards the back of the place. Then it came, the window came in, everything came in right over the bar.
There were no passengers on that charter bus from Long Island when it crashed. No word on what caused it to go out of control. Police on Long Island are searching tonight for a gunman who shot and seriously wounded 3 men. The apparent motive, revenge for a drug deal that went bad. Vince Lipari tells us a massive stakeout for the gunman today was fruitless.
Suffolk County Police were led to the Bayshore home of Angel Torres after a shooting incident on a nearby street in which 3 persons were shot.
But they were walking, apparently, and the car drove by and fired the shots and took off.
After the shooting incident, the car that the alleged assailant was driving was tracked here to 1350 Boston Avenue. When a police officer approached the car to check out the license plate, he got a radio call from police headquarters saying that the man inside the house wanted the area cleared or he would begin to shoot. 50 Suffolk County police officers, including a hostage negotiating team, descended on the Blue Frame Ranch amid reports that Torres may be holding a woman and a 1-year-old infant hostage. In the meantime, some residents living on the block chose to stay in their homes. Others were evacuated.
The kids, you know, they've been upset. And so all of us, you know, hanging around like that, you don't know what's going on.
The shades were moved a little bit, and we saw the shadow of a figure moving. That was 2 hours ago.
After 13 hours of attempting to make contact with anyone inside the house via bullhorns and public address systems, police broke into the home and found nothing. 13 hours after the search started, no suspect, nobody in the house. Really, you don't know much more than you knew 13 hours before. Would you consider it a waste of time?
Never a waste of time. We can never assume anything. We had certain indications there might have been certain people in there, and including a young child. The possibility was strong. Therefore, we did not resort to any tear gas or any stronger measures.
In Bayshore, this is Vince Lupari, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
From Scranton, Pennsylvania tonight, we have some amazing videotape of a police chase in progress. A TV crew was overhead in a helicopter when cops went after an escaped prisoner who had commandeered a truck.
Boy, this guy is really traveling. There is a state police car trying, apparently, according to photographer Tom Hovey, trying to shoot the tires out. Jack, his front tire is blown. He's avoiding the roadblock again. He's going into a field now.
You know, they wanted that man, but in moments, police had Kenneth Loonan out of the truck and on the ground. This incident will add to the kidnap, robbery, and assault charges the prisoner already faces. He was being transferred to a mental hospital when he escaped. Ernie?
Homeless people escaping the cold weather are crowding into New York City shelters again tonight, and city officials tell me that more than 7,000 homeless men and women are now in the shelters. It is the fourth night in a row that so many people have come in from the cold. Last night's crowd was the biggest since the Great Depression. Stormfield will tell us a little bit later on if this cold snap will last much longer. Tracy?
Coming up next, on Long Island tonight, a show of support for the first man ever to be convicted in New York for refusing to register for the new draft.
And also ahead tonight, a man who millions of New Yorkers count on in Washington gets Vice President Bush to come to town tonight to do him a favor. And it's another birthday for a famous character who's done a lot of good for nature. We have that story coming up in a moment.
Hurry into Macy's two-day home furnishing sale this Friday and Saturday for spectacular savings on bedding. Every Sealy, Simmons, Serta, Posturepedic, Maxipedic, Ultima, Beauty Rest, and Perfect Sleeper on sale. 50% off selected Sealy, Simmons, and Serta. Twin, full, and queen-size mattresses and box springs. Twin size, regularly offered at $130, now just $47 each. And with every set, receive a bonus frame. Don't miss Macy's two-day home furnishing sale on bedding this Friday and Saturday.
For everyone who thought the Honda was no bigger than a bread box, this announcement, this beautiful Honda Accord, is wider than the BMW 325e. The Honda Prelude is wider and longer than the Porsche 911. Even the Honda Civic Wagon has over 3 inches more headroom than the Peugeot wagon. So when you visit your Tri-Honda dealer, tell him you're looking for something a little larger. He's got a wide selection. Your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Tri-Honda dealers.
What most people don't realize when they get a raise is that everyone else is getting one too. At Integrated Resources, we believe the only way to really get ahead is to invest. So we offer investment programs that help you keep more of what you earn. Sure, getting a raise is nice, but it's not enough to bank on. Integrated Resources, because there's money to be made.
You're about to see a productive business person turn into someone who can't talk, can't be heard, can't communicate anything to anybody because he's entering his car. But now, 9X makes possible a car phone that's as easy to use as your desk phone with cellular technology backed by Bell Experience. So you can enter your car without leaving the business world behind. 9X Mobile Communications.
A lot of people think Federal Express carries only little packages. Our couriers would probably disagree with this.
A show of support tonight on Long Island for a young man in Syracuse, the first person in New York State to be convicted of refusing to register for the new draft. In Great Neck, about 50 people turned out to show support for Andy Major. He's originally from Oyster Bay, and he was valedictorian of his high school class. But now Major faces up to 5 years in jail and a $10,000 fine for refusing to sign up. Some say we don't. He'll be sentenced next month. Ernie?
Tracy, the 1986 elections may seem a long way off, but Senator Alphonse D'Amato is off and running to keep his job when it comes up for grabs next year. D'Amato held a fundraiser tonight, and as Chi Chi Williams tells us now, one of the Reagan administration's heavy hitters came in for the pitch.
Al D'Amato is going to be awful tough to beat in 1986.
Senator Alphonse D'Amato's campaign chest to support that claim got a big boost tonight at a fundraiser at the Grand Hyatt Hotel.
1,200 people forked over $1,000 to come here tonight, not for a big fancy dinner, but for hors d'oeuvres. Fancy hors d'oeuvres, but hors d'oeuvres nonetheless, making this what Senator D'Amato calls the most expensive cocktail fundraiser he's ever heard of.
They must love him.
Yes, they must, Mama D'Amato, but they also like what supporting the Republican administration could mean to them.
We're here to talk to people and see what's on their mind and see where we can participate, since this is the administration in power.
I'm in construction and things are doing very nicely in Manhattan.
You get your money's worth?
I think it's a little exorbitant, but if it helps them keep things the way it is, then it's fine. I'm willing to pay.
Not all the supporters here tonight are Republicans. Democratic Congressman Mario Biaggi came out too, prompting the question, will he support D'Amato in '86?
Everything is possible. We rule nothing out, and we make nothing certain.
No question at all about who Vice President George Bush will support. He told the crowd President Reagan needs D'Amato to help his administration achieve its two priorities this term, strengthening the economy and arms reduction.
And we need Al D'Amato in the Senate to help us achieve them.
Senator D'Amato refuses to speculate on who his opponent will be in 1986. But in spite of Congresswoman Geraldine Ferraro's financial problems, he says he's not counting her out.
I think Geraldine Ferraro is still a very viable political force in the state of New York.
Senator D'Amato raised $1.5 million tonight, bringing his campaign war chest up to $4.5 million. But he says he needs twice that amount to run in '86. Ernie?
All right, thank you, Chi-Chi. And things are getting a little bit stickier tonight for President Reagan's inaugural committee. The committee got into trouble when it advertised for clean-cut, all-American types to perform for free during the inaugural festivities. Well, now the performers' union, AFTER, is going to court, claiming race and also age discrimination. The union also demands that all inaugural performers be paid minimum wage. Tracy.
Ernie, here in New York, some other performers are upset for a different reason. Walt Disney Productions will take over Radio City Music Hall this summer for a special show. It'll have a lot of surprises, but it won't have the Rockettes. Outside Radio City Music Hall tonight, there is anger. For the first time in 54 years, the Rockettes will not be dancing at Radio City this summer. That decision made by Walt Disney Productions, which is using its own actors during a 10-week run. So the only line the Rockettes will be kicking on is the picket line.
We saved Radio City. This is our home, and we want to stay. When tourists come to New York, this is what they come to see. There's no Statue of Liberty. Now there'll be no Rockettes.
Radio City head Richard Evans says he can't force Disney to use the Rockettes, and he's trying to make it up to the kickers.
Just because they are not on stage here does not necessarily mean that they are unemployed and not working. We are in the process of developing the Rockettes as a national entity under that name.
But at least one Rockette isn't satisfied.
We don't want the money. We want to work. We want tourists to come here and see the Rockettes in their home performing. Tonight, a vice president for Disney Productions says he loves the Rockettes too, but they just wouldn't be appropriate for the Disney show. Ernie?
And coming up next here at Eyewitness News at 11, the Super Bowl plays a big part in a Broadway producer's life.
And we'll be going to Storm Field at our Weather Center for the latest on this big chill.
Imagine a greater Fort Lauderdale vacation. Imagine a vacation in greater Fort Lauderdale, even greater than you imagined.
Imagine that.
Uh-huh. Yves Saint Laurent, obviously.
Yves Saint Laurent, one of life's little consolations.
When you need a simple installment loan, is your bank a little slow?
You can't rush these things.
At United Jersey, we value your time as much as your money. When we promise you a loan in 72 hours, we mean 72 hours.
That's all there is to it?
That's it.
Oh, that was fast.
That was really fast.
If time means money to you, talk to United Jersey, the fast-moving bank.
A day in the life of a Commodore 64. The Commodore 64. Once you get it, you'll wonder how you got along without it.
Switch to relaxing music by all your favorite artists. Turn on the light at the end of the dial. 106.7 WLTW, Light FM.
Well, tonight, Broadway producer David Merrick is once again in control of his multi-million-dollar fortune. Merrick's shows include 42nd Street and many other hit plays. A conservator was handling his finances since Merrick suffered a stroke a couple of years ago, and to prove his mental competence, Merrick was in court today. He talked to the judge about the Super Bowl, predicting that Miami would win and that Dan Marino is a better quarterback than Joe Montana, and that convinced the judge. Tracy.
Well, I'll tell you, Storm, I am convinced that it's not there. In Iceland, it's 50 degrees, and here we're freezing.
Well, I'm glad we're not in Iceland.
I think 50 degrees sounds good compared to this.
Well, I don't know. I think in Iceland it's only 50 degrees if you're in one of the thermal baths that they have. A lot of geothermal action going on underneath Iceland. Take a look at what we have right now. Here's what we have in our map shaping up for tomorrow. You'll notice on it that low pressure, which is presently right in here, is sliding off the coast, building up intensity, and it will be moving away from us. As a result, we're really staying on the northern edge of some action. Really nothing much expected from that. And over the area at the moment, let's take a look at the satellite picture, and I'll show you what we've got in there right now. Notice mostly clear skies over the region. Not much of a problem. A lot of moisture working out here. A lot of action going on all over the water. You notice some more in here through the Ohio Valley. Nothing has really made it into this area. We've got a large wedge of high pressure, clear skies through much of New England, and this is going to be keeping our skies mostly clear for a while, which means the snow, if and when it comes, won't be happening until much later overnight into tomorrow morning before anything else. Let's take a look at our weather watchers. And on the Weather Watchers map, you'll notice it's kind of interesting. Bill Oaks, northern New Jersey, partly starry out. Loretta Soto in the Bronx, clear and cold. Ann Tenzer, cold, brisk, not a star in the sky. It's rather cloudy on the eastern part of Long Island. Valley Stream heading out in Nassau County to Suffolk County. Kyle Wagner along the Jersey Shore. No stars, an intense bright red moon for him. So as far as we can see at this time, doesn't seem to be much developing. Again, those clear skies on the satellite picture, keeping things at this point rather uneventful. Here's how the forecast is going to be shaping up. For tomorrow morning, it is going to be cloudy out, should be, and the snow, if there is some later on tonight, should be tapering off. At least by noon it'll be gone. The rest of the day is going to be rather windy and cold, and as far as Saturday, fair, sunshine returns, but still very cold, and temperatures fighting to make their way up to about 30 degrees. So the bundle-up weather, if you're thinking and worried about this cold spell, is not going to be changing for a while. The windy conditions are going to be coming back tomorrow night and in through the weekend. So be prepared to keep on bundling up, staying that way for a while. Back to the studio now.
Thank you, Storm. Our own John David Klein has a bit of a problem. You see, it all started when he wanted a watchdog. He got the dog, but it doesn't watch so well. And now the problem goes deeper than that. Well, let's let him explain.
I would like you to meet Jack. He is a husky. We got Jack when he was a year old. We didn't want a puppy. We wanted a full-fledged guard dog. Well, as a guard dog, Jack has only one problem. He runs away. If we tie him up, he runs away. If we leave the door open, he runs away. Sometimes when Brooke walks him, he runs away. It's not that he runs to anywhere in particular, he just runs away. I'm not supposed to run after the dog and keep it in. The dog is supposed to keep people out. Well, Jack ran away one more time. We were burglarized. Jack ran away when the burglars let him out of the house, and this time Jack was hit by a car. And for the next 6 weeks, he must stay with a cast on his leg. He runs three-legged, and I am indebted to the veterinarian. Jack has stopped running away from home since he got the cast. And as you can see, we got Jack a friend. Hopefully now, with this friend, Jack will stay home. Of course, the puppy is named Jill. I didn't have much to do with the naming of that. But we have Jill and Jack, Jack and Jill, and there's no hope of giving Jack away to another family. How would you break up a set of Jack and Jill and explain to somebody else that you gave a dog away? Nobody wants to give a dog away, especially one with a cast. And I'm John David Klein, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
That's a great story. He
Jack.
didn't make that up either. That's the real thing. Coming up, Corey McPherrin with discouraging news for Mets fans.
And it's a special day for America's best-known bear. We'll be right back.
Happy birthday to you.
The crew of the space shuttle has every benefit modern travel affords, with one possible exception. They don't have a frequent traveler bonus program like Eastern's. If they did, this crew would have earned 178 free trips to London, 52 to Rome, 30 to Egypt, and 2 to Walt Disney World. So if you fly a lot on business, join Eastern's frequent traveler bonus program and land in the most exciting places.
Things aren't always what they seem to be. This store, for example, sells Purdue whole chickens. They also sell chicken parts. You might assume that these chicken parts are also Purdue. Well, you could be very wrong. These parts don't say Purdue's prime parts, and they don't meet Purdue quality standards. Just because something seems like Purdue doesn't mean it is.
Here now are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
I know, buying a new car is not the most important thought on your mind right now, but maybe it should be. Here's why. Your Buick dealer knows that Santa Claus was tough competition, so put yourself in his shoes. If you walk into his showroom and express just casual interest, don't you think he'll go even further out of his way to make you a good deal? Look, we've been saying, when your Buick dealer gives you a price, believe it. Well, when your Buick dealer says he's ready to deal, you can believe that, too.
At Bloomingdale's, we've gone beyond white sales to a 4-star spectacular. Luxor towels from Martex and sumptuous Pima cotton, $7.99 bath size. You save $9 each. They're super soft, super absorbent. And genuine European down comforters that sold for up to $335. Now all sizes only $99.95 in 4 handsome colors. At the 4-star spectacular at Bloomingdale's, it's like no other store in the world.
Everybody loves Regis because Regis loves New York. Come see at 9 on the morning show.
Okay, Corey McPherrin is with us now with some bad news and some good news, I guess.
We got, yeah, that's very clever. We got everything. We got some hockey, we got some tennis, we also got financial news, which belongs in sports almost daily nowadays. Contract problems for National League Rookie of the Year, Dwight Gooden. Dwight's agent, Jim Nieder, says he hasn't even talked to the Mets in 2 months. They're still substantially apart on money, and he would not rule out advising Dwight to hold out if the money's not right. Now, Dwight pitched last year for $40,000. That's the major league minimum. This year, Dwight and his agent looking for more than $700 grand. Mets tell us they're working on a proposal and are hopeful they can strike a deal. Well, from Dwight Gooden to Doug Flutie, everybody's favorite college quarterback, Doug's agent Bob Wolf tonight says his client would have to be, quote, out of his mind to reject the latest offer from the New Jersey Generals. Could be a negotiating ploy against the NFL, but you just don't know. Hockey tonight, if you were at the Meadowlands, you saw one heck of a game. 2 goals from Brian Trottier. Isles hold off the Devils 3-2. Pick it up, second period. 2-0, Islanders lead. Devils pressuring. Loose puck. Rocky Trottier is there, flips it in, and it's 2-1. In the third period, here's Rocky again ahead to Mel Bridgman. All alone. Going to let it rip right there. His 200th career goal. Tie game at 2. Then, 61 seconds later, Paul Boutelier moves towards the slot. Tonelli swipes at it right there. Brian Trottier stuffs it past Chico Resch. It's the winning goal, Isles 3, and the Devils 2. In Philadelphia, the Flyers, 8 points in front of the Isles going in, taking on the Blackhawks tonight. Third period, Brian Propp out to Tim Kerr. The wrist shot, he scores it. 32nd for Kerr on the year. 3-1 Philadelphia. Now, moments later, the Flyers shorthanded. Propp again, heading straight for the net. Bannerman is out, swats it away, but Mark Howe trails, finds the puck and scores. Flyers take control. The final is 5-1. Well, a major scare for John McEnroe at the Garden tonight. Quarterfinals, Volvo Masters, Anders Jarred takes the first set. Leads 3-love in the second before Johnny Mac finally wakes up, takes 10 of the final 14 games, comes away a 3-set winner. All right, we scan the audience. Look who's there. Tatum O'Neal. Wonder who she's rooting for tonight. First set, Mac having a rough time. Jarred is hot, charges the net, the backhand winner. Jarred wins the first set 6-2. In the second, something you may never see again. Mac going to serve it here, and the racket goes up and literally breaks in half. There it comes, flying down onto the court. John recovers, comes from behind to win the set 6-4. Third set, Mac's got his rhythm and some luck. The shot trickles over the net. Jarred comes on to track it down, leaves John a wide open court for the return. 2-6, 6-4, and 2-6 the scores.
I was just hoping to get some sort of break to get into the match, and I figured then that if I did that he might start choking a little bit, and I think that's what happened. He started to get a little bit tight, and I started hitting the ball a little better and playing better percentage points. But, I mean, that's about as well as I've ever seen anyone play for a set and a half against me.
All right, Johnny Mac survives. Earlier today, 4th seed, Mats Wilander. Match point versus Johan Krieg. Wilander will charge the net right here, puts away the point and the match, 6-4, 3-6, and 7-6. Mats, top player in the world towards the end of '84, advances to the semifinals. That's it for now, Ernie. And the Flutie thing, I think, is interesting. I think it's a ploy, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see the generals.
We'll find out soon.
Very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. Finally tonight, a birthday for Smokey the Bear. The big lug is 40, and he's still going strong, helping to keep forest fires under control. In fact, the Forest Service says Smokey cut forest fires in half once he began warning only you can prevent forest fires. That's effective advertising. So effective, the Ad Council says Smokey is the second most recognizable symbol in the country, right behind the real thing, Coca-Cola. Happy birthday, Smokey.
All right, Smokey.
That's our news. I'm Tracy Egan. Thank you for joining us.
And Nightline's coming up next year for Storm Corey, Chi-Chi, John David Klein, Jack and Jill, and the rest of the Eyewitness News team. I'm Ernie Anastos. Have a good night. See you again tomorrow.
I can't take off my glasses because they're frozen to my nose. I need it bad. When you need it bad, come to Florida.
Now shop right as the can, selling lots of brands of everything in cans. Today it's great to save some cash, so come to ShopRite's can dash from can to can to can to can. You'll save much more on every brand. You'll save much more on every brand. Now's the time to shop at ShopRite's can blast. Now's the time to stock up while the values last.
ShopRite corn, beets, potatoes, or sauerkraut, 4 cans, 99 cents.
Guess what? From January 1st to the 20th, you're invited to help McDonald's celebrate New Year's with 99-cent double hamburgers. 99 cents, can you believe it? So come to McDonald's for a delicious, hot-off-the-grill double hamburger for just 99 cents. Welcome in 85 at McDonald's and celebrate from January 1st to the 20th. Boy, what a great way to start the year.
Tomorrow on the 5 o'clock Eyewitness News, are fatty and high cholesterol foods really hazardous to your health? Tell us what you think on Newsline 7.
This is Roger Grimsby. When an accused citizen stands trial, is he more likely to be acquitted with his own attorney or one appointed by the court? The answer might surprise you. An insider report tomorrow at 6.
This is Ted Koppel. Coming up on Nightline, libel suits by public figures against the media, intimidation or a legitimate effort to keep news organizations accountable.